Hello everyone, today is Sunday, June 3rd, 2018, and I'll be doing my first journal entry that I've been doing in months. Well, let's get down to the bottom of it. Well, first of all, I have to admit, my mental state has been going south a bit since junior prom. I don't know why, but I seem more prone to losing my temper for some reason. I don't know what it's been. Some people think I was just stressed out with AP testing. Others were thought, like my parents, that it was the medication I'm on. And I don't know. I just hope this doesn't get out of control. But more now onto the event-based notes. Well, by now I've already taken 7 essay. Well, onto the more objective note. Well, by now I've taken the SAT with the essay once. And I also taken 3 separate AP tests and 3 separate SAT subject tests. Now they all, at the time I left the testing facilities, I felt confident in all of them but one, and that was the SAT physics subject test. But I have to admit, I really didn't know enough. I mean, you can be intelligent as heck, but what's the use if you don't have the proper knowledge? Same thing vice versa. So I feel confident on all of them so far, but the SAT's physics subject test. So that's the bright side of things. Hard work was paying off, or yeah, it's appearing to pay off so far in general. However, I have to admit that at the same time, my 4th quarter grades have kind of slipped a bit. You know what? Yeah, many of you are like, James, if you got 2 B's by now, big deal. The rest are A's. You got it. I know, but honestly, I feel like that straight A's were still well within my reach. This was not something where I worked hard and this is all I got. No, I feel like as in terms of school grades, I kind of slacked off a bit, I have to admit that. Well, ever since junior prom, I tried to arrange more time with friends and all that. Did manage to get some time in with some friends, yeah, and all that. And that's been nice, spending time with friends. It's always nice. Yeah, just that I guess I started to feel alone, so just wanted to spend some time with friends outside of school. And then, well, what to talk about next? Well, grades, aptitude testing. What else? Well, I'll tell you one thing, our varsity baseball season, well, overall it didn't really go too well. I mean, first half of the season was excellent. 7-2. We come out of the tournament with a total of a 10-3 record. And we were, with all deliberate speed, we were heading toward a really good place for the playoffs. But things went south afterwards. We thought our series with Arroyo was just something small. And just 1-1. They beat us 2-1, and then we beat them 7-6. We thought it was just another bump in the road. And then we lose to Dublin. That was just 1 game. Then we lose to Alameda. Both games. And that was tough. By then, we piled up 7 losses by then. 1-4 since we got back from the tournament. And then we go up against San Leandro, I think. We also go 1-1 with them, then with Bishop O'Dowd. So now it's 3-6. And then we lose to Berkeley twice, 3-8 after we come back from spring break. Things weren't looking good. We just got into the Western Alameda County Conference. And what happened? Well, we went up against Alameda, only defeated by Berkeley. Only defeated by Berkeley. It was literally the same as our other two games. They only won to us 2 or 3-0. I mean, it was 2-0 when we visited them first time, and 3-0 when they came to us, and then they won against us 2-0. It was hard, but then we still managed to get into NCS, but just 16th seed, and we played De La Salle first round. We didn't give up until we didn't give up there, but we didn't make it through. Yeah, and I kept track of the entire playoff session. They ended up winning NCS against Foothill 11-0. So, yeah. We had our season 13-11 regular season record. 13-13 if you consider the playoff losses, and then if you include the scrimmages, 14-14. It was tough. I have to admit, it's not easy. It's not that easy. Especially when it looked like you had it within your hands. But, just had to keep getting back up on our feet. Looks like it wasn't for us this time around. But, still, the boys and I had a great season. Memorable. And that's all it needed to be good. Let's see. What have I already talked about? I'm trying to think that if this is a good time to announce this, but before I do, yeah, you know, I should just announce it now. It'd be a good time. Coach gave me this as a thank you for scorekeeping for the baseball team. I don't know how to say this, but ladies and gentlemen, my varsity letter. Approximately 7:30 p.m. May 29th, 2018, Tuesday. I don't know how to say it, but I feel like I didn't really earn it. Coach thinks I deserve it for all the help I've done on the team, but in the end, I was never my argument, I was never a player. I wasn't even good. Wasn't strong. They kept me around because I was a good influence to the team. They wanted me to stay around, stick around, be their role model. Gave me the job of scorekeeper. Critical, not to mention. Had to be done accurately. More like my line of work for a guy who can do real well in STEM. And that's how I'm going to cherish that. I did not expect to ever earn that. And in all honesty, I don't think I could ever really, truly earn it. But if I ever do one day, I think I would repay everything Coach just gave me in that one gift, if I could say it that way. I know. It's... I don't know how to describe it. But in all gratitude, I still thank my coach. It's an honor to receive such a... It's an honor to receive such a prized possession. It's an honor. Complete honor. So now, what do I move on and talk about? Well, as for grades and academics, getting back to that round, third quarter was stellar. Went real well. And then fourth quarter comes along and everything's going well. Till last week, I took a couple hits. My German fourth quarter and my English American literature fourth quarter grades went down to B+, but for straight A students now, that's devastating. But for others, it's okay. As for me though, I just have to deal with it. Deal with the fact that there's nothing I can do to make them A's anymore, and just do my best on the finals and keep it at that. And so, yeah. And then as for subject testing and SAT testing, well, man, I have to say, SAT, I came out of that feeling more confident than ever. And next thing you know, I look at the scores 2 weeks later, I get a 1470. I'm glad I got that high score. All these aptitude tests I'm taking, I hope I never have any desire to take them again. Well, believe me, that was memorable. 1470 on the SAT with essay. But on the rating section, I got a 6 on the reading, 2 on the analysis, and 6 on the writing, all out of 8s. So some things were decent and one thing was horrible. But I'm content. For now, I'm content. And then I took 2 subject tests on May 5th, so I took the SAT with essay on March 10th, and then on May 5th I took the 2 SAT subject tests, U.S. History and Mathematics 2. And so on the U.S. History I got a 780, and I was like 92nd percentile, and I have to admit, I think I kind of impressed myself there, because the SAT subject test, the U.S. History one, the U.S. History subject test is way more fact and knowledge based, whereas the AP United States History test is more like basically how do you put it? Understanding based. It's more based on like understanding, and you're basically reasoning and coming to conclusions using what you've been taught. So, yeah. Then the craziest thing is that on the math I got an 800, and yet I feel like I did terrible. I felt like I did terrible on that one, actually, in all honesty, when I first came out of it. But I get an 800, and it turns out I'm in the 79th percentile. So that means that means a good chunk of the people who took the math 2 that day, they got an 800 score of some sort. Whereas with the U.S. History, I got a 780, which is 20 points lower, but I am in the 92nd percentile instead. In all honesty, it's kind of a tricky thing, because it's like, one's like, you're compared against others. It showed to me that one, you're compared against others, and the other, it's like, this is your score. Like, this is your score, it's not compared against others. In all honesty, I really care more about the score than percentile, because that's what colleges look at. They don't look... Well, naturally, but yeah, they could look at percentiles too, but my concern is more the score. But I have to admit, yeah, I think I was lucky, I got lucky for the math too, and all that, so, yeah. And then, And then let's see, and then as for the AP test that I came out of the AP Physics 1, basically, like, there was, like, pretty confident, except that there was one problem that almost screwed me up. Oh my goodness, I was kind of in a nerve wreck at the moment. I was panicking, but then I was like, wait a minute, they have all the formulas, like, on this one page, so I flipped there, and I'm at least able to get something out. Something. It wasn't much, but it was something. It could help. Any bit helps there, basically, on the AP tests. And so basically, yeah, it's a little shaken, but, and then I take that, okay, so that was on Tuesday, May 8th, and then Friday, May 11th, I take the AP 19th history test. Believe me, I was feeling so confident when I finished that one. Oh, you will not believe this. I basically went right before they were about to dismiss. I thought we were dismissed for a moment. I just basically stood up, pushed my chair back with my legs, and then basically just slammed my hands down on the table. I'm like, woo! When I get home, I'm gonna be taking a big fat nap. And then it turns out, the supervisor said, I'm sorry, James, to say this, James, but you haven't been excused yet. That gave everyone a good laugh for the rest of the day. So yeah, pretty nice though, still. Yeah, that stuck with me for the rest of the day. And then the AP Calculus PC E-test. That was the one I was just gunning for since the beginning of the year. Didn't do as well as I hoped to do, but at the same time I'm very optimistic that I still got a good score. Felt like I perfected the multiple choice on that one, so yeah, there's that. But we'll see. Time will tell, as I always say. And I guess you're all wondering, James, why do you take so many aptitude tests anyway? You took an SAT, 3 subject tests, and then you take 3 APs now. And yeah, now I mentioned this to you all. I haven't even really started getting into the deep parts of studying for this, but I'm taking the ACT this coming Saturday. It's like, start taking it. And many of you are probably thinking, why the heck are you taking 8 aptitude tests? Well, my dream school says that you can either submit an SAT, an ACT, 3 subject tests, or 3 AP test scores. And that will be, and then basically that can be used for your admission process. So yeah, if I can do well on all of them, great. We send all of them. So yeah, there's that. Man, quite a ride this year. It's been quite a ride this year. School year. Also been quite a ride this year of my existence. In fact, today is my 17th birthday. So yeah, it feels nice to be 17 finally. Just feels so nice. Yeah. Finally took my quote-unquote 20th day off since school started today. I haven't felt this happy in a while, I have to admit. But I don't know what kept me down all this time. You know, and speaking of that, I turned in my AP Calculus BC final project on this past Friday, June 1st, and the moment I was done, literally, the moment I turned it in, I was frozen. I didn't know what to do. I was so used to working so hard all year that I just didn't have anything to do, and I was stunned. So yeah. But future has more. Yesterday I started looking at my dream school actually has this program called pre-college. It's like these summer courses, and they take place over the course of 6 weeks, assuming you go to this pre-college program. So I guess I made my decision. I'm gonna default to going. My parents have been willing to cough up the money, and I don't want to let them down with this offer. But deadlines are coming up. Gotta get on that. So I got on it yesterday. Still need to make a few phone calls. Still gotta get a transcript from my high school. And all that. I'll be away for 6 weeks, but I feel like I need to get away from here. That's one of the reasons. I mean, reasons like dream school scout out in New York City, see if I can handle being away and all that. But at the same time, there are non-practical reasons. I just feel like I need to get out of here, get out of the Bay Area for some reason. So yeah. Gonna be going. So I gotta get working on the application, and I got to get these forms signed. Then we gotta buy a plane ticket. And I gotta do it by the end of this week, otherwise we're not gonna have any time to get anything done, because then next week I'll be in Los Angeles with my family. My youngest sister is getting baptized next Sunday, so that's something. Yeah, and then next week I'm also gonna probably gonna be scouting out USC and UCLA. Gonna be doing college applications over the summer, I hope, if I can make time. And so yeah, it's quite a lot on my plate. Quite a lot on the plate of the past. Quite a lot on the plate of the present. Soon, and then to be, quite a lot on the plate of the future. You know, I don't know what else I could say, but I have to admit I never really felt this happy in a while. Just being 17 years old, just full of bliss. Yeah, that's all I really have to say. Anyway, thank you all, and have a good night. Have a good night, everyone. I'm James Wu.